Hello, hello. This is Dr. Matthew Loop here. Welcome to this powerful new training titled The Ultimate Instagram Practice Growth Blueprint for Chiropractors: How to Quickly Build Your Influence, Move the Needle, and Bank with the World's Largest Photo Sharing Platform. This is one of the most timely and valuable webinars I've ever done because there's a massive migration going on from Facebook to Instagram. And I need to make sure that you are aware of the changes. Social media is evolving, and if you don't evolve with the times, you will be left behind. Now, I want you to shut yourself away, put your cell phone in a separate room, get out of Facebook, and absorb this information. Be laser focused, and if you need to, take out a pen and pad so you can take notes feverishly. If we're not already connected, let's make sure that we connect on Instagram at Matthew Loop. That's where you can find me. Typically, what I do is post new trainings and new valuable tips and insight that help you grow your practice, your brand, your reputation, and make you that go-to celebrity expert in your local community so that you can help reach more patients and make more money. Now, if you haven't downloaded this, I'd like to invite you to download my free Facebook marketing cheat sheet at dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet. Facebook is still a very lucrative medium, but this webinar is all about Instagram. I wanted to give you this information because you might not have it, and I only have a very small amount of time with you today. So make sure you download this 22-page cheat sheet that will help you grow your influence, your impact, and your revenue from Facebook. Now, the goal of today is a couple things. One, to share the best practices with you on Instagram. There are a lot of chiropractors that are actually damaging their reputation and losing credibility because they're doing things in the wrong way. So this webinar is about the best practices. Number two, it's about you making the most impact. We're chiropractors. Certainly, we want to help as many people in our community as possible. So I'm going to share with you proven strategies that will allow you to do that. Number three is evolution. We as a profession need to market like it's the year we actually live in. There are so many doctors that are way behind the eight ball. They still think social media is a fad, but don't let that be you. Really focus and pay attention to today's message because, again, we need to market like it's the year we actually live in. 20 years ago, if you weren't in the yellow pages, people would look at you as suspect, outdated, and out of touch. The same thing is happening today if you don't have an overwhelming presence on social media, sites like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc. And the fourth thing is prosperity. I want to see our profession thrive and prosper. I would love nothing more than to see chiropractic commercials running 24/7 on television to help shape public opinion, to actually ethically influence people to do stuff that's better for their health instead of what we really see today. We see drug companies, the food industry, unethically manipulating the public to do things that are bad for the health. And really, in order to do this, in order to really create this massive movement, we need to be rich as a profession. Social media has been very, very lucrative for myself and clients, and I want to share with you some of those same strategies today. Now, I realize that many of you might not have heard about who I am. I've been very fortunate and blessed to serve the chiropractic profession for over 10 years. So I'm just going to give you the Cliff Notes version of why you should actually listen to me. So I'm a chiropractor like you. I graduated in 2004. When I got out of school, all I wanted to do was help people because I just had this burning desire to make the community as healthy as possible. But I learned very, very quickly that aside from being a great technician, being a great chiropractor, I had to master the business element, and that was where I was lacking. So, long story short, got out of school with $130,000 in debt. There was a point where my credit cards were entirely maxed, and I had $1,000 in bills due the following week. Well, I tried a lot of advertising gimmicks, television, radio. Some worked a little bit, some didn't, and I just got really burdened down. It got to a point where I was getting ulcers because I was so anxious, and I knew that, listen, I'm a great chiropractor, but what's the disconnect here? My practice is decently busy. I was a little bit naive coming out of school. I didn't realize that you would have to submit a check to the insurance company and wait 2 to 3 months sometimes, only to get an extra $5 in the mail in reimbursement. If you've ever been there, just type yes in the chat box. So that was my rude awakening, but it got to a point where I was financially strapped my ex-girlfriend's father had to cut me a check for 2 grand to float me along one time, took me out to lunch at Bahama Breeze. That was a very low point in my life where I said, I'm this great doctor, I'm helping a lot of people, but there's a disconnect in my, whether it's marketing, my business, my entrepreneurial savvy. So right around that time is when social media stepped in, and I began to read books by Michael Gerber called E-Myth, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Now, mind you, this was around 2005, and a little social network called MySpace was just starting to grow. So if you remember MySpace, just tell me in the chat box. Yes, I remember. Now, what's interesting is that I was using MySpace right around that time. I learned how to use it to help people in the community. I started building my list. And as I began to harness this network, 1 to 2% would automatically say, hey, you're a chiropractor. And as I grew my practice from this quote kids network, because that's what people thought at the time, then I started to get requests by other colleagues of mine, chiropractors, that were, interested in harnessing this kids network. So I began to show them exactly what I was doing. Well, this like kids network, MySpace, so to speak, this actually ballooned into 10, 15, 20 new patients per month that we were seeing in our office. Then I got so busy teaching other chiropractors how to leverage this stuff. Well, it was cutting into my practice time, so I figured, listen, I need to make a decision. How can I help these chiropractors and have my practice at the same time? So I had to bring in a couple independent contractors in my office, and then I decided, listen, if I could help thousands of doctors reach millions of patients, that's an amazing thing that I would love to undertake. So again, since late 2005, early 2006, I've helped over 8,000 clients, chiropractor clients, to grow their practices using social media. In fact, I founded DC Income, which is the world's largest social media training company for chiropractors, and over 15,000 more have went through my free trainings and such. So I'm very blessed to get to share this information with so many doctors. This is one of the highlights of my career where I actually spoke for the Entrepreneurships Club at Harvard University at the Faculty Club. And I'm going to share some of the secrets today that I shared with those entrepreneurs at Harvard. So pay close attention. And listen, social media, if you do it right, can take you on a journey that you would not believe. This is my best-selling book, Social Media Made Me Rich. It was featured in Forbes, and it's been in over 25 countries to date. This is another book that you absolutely should have on your shelf because it will help you grow very quickly with social media. So not only am I a chiropractor, author, but I really love to spend time with my family. And this is what separates me from a lot of the other, quote, gurus. I'm a family-centered entrepreneur, so my business revolves around my family and things that I love to do. Listen, I love chiropractic. I love helping people online, but the only thing that I love more than that is my family and travel. So I teach clients how to do the same thing, how to create more freedom and flexibility and create systems that automatically run the marketing and the practice, or internet-based stuff that will set you free. Now, this is a monumental milestone in my life where I got to fulfill a childhood dream of owning one of my favorite cars. This is my family experiencing with me. Maybe you've seen the video online. I speak all over the country helping empower chiropractors to grow their practices using social media. So if you ever get a chance, and if I'm in your neighborhood, I would love to connect with you personally. And the internet, again, can take you on many wonderful places by using social media the right way. Now, I've been able to connect with influencers, and I strongly recommend, as you pay close attention to my training, you do the same thing, because when you connect with influencers, celebrities that people know, it helps your brand, and you can grow very quickly and establish more credibility in the public's eye. This is where chiropractors fail tremendously, but this social media journey can take you to the point of influencers. You might remember this television personality, not just from Three's Company, but also the Thigh Master. This is best-selling author Suzanne Summers, American television icon. She's done a lot of great things. I got the chance to interview her at Harvard. This is famous pop singer Usher. Helped his New Look organization, Usher's New Look organization, with some of their marketing strategies. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. If you've ever watched the show, it's a great show for chiropractors, learning how to build their practices, or at least just getting into the entrepreneurial game. Lots of valuable insight that you can glean from that show. And he's really a nice guy when you're not trying to take his money. So again, that's kind of the Cliff Notes version about me, just so you understand where I'm coming from that I'm a chiropractor like you, but I've really taken social media, helped a lot of people, and I'm about to do the same thing for you because I want to see you thrive and prosper. Let's get into Instagram. Now, Instagram itself, we have to start off with some statistics of interest. There are over 800 million users at this stage. Facebook owns Instagram, just an FYI. An estimated 95 million photos are shared each day on this platform. 32% of all internet users are on Instagram, by the way. Instagram's brand engagement is the highest of any social platform, too. That means that if you post something, you're going to get more likes, shares, and comments, typically on Instagram, if you do it in a certain way. 59% of internet users between the ages of 18 and 29 use Instagram, and 33% of internet users between the ages of 30 and 49 use Instagram. That second statistic is our demographic as chiropractors. 68% of Instagram users are female, which further goes into our demographic. Not a lot of doctors are familiar with that. 41% of Instagram users report following brands to get perks and giveaways. That's another important statistic. So, why is there a mass migration going on at this stage from all social media, not just Facebook, to Instagram? It's actually pretty simple. Listen, I love Facebook, as I mentioned previously. It's been very lucrative for myself and my clients, and it still will remain that way. However, there's a lot of complaining on Facebook. There's a lot of whining, a lot of negativity, and if you stay in the newsfeed, that can really, really affect your mental health, put it that way. So people are starting to recognize that. Think of Instagram as Facebook without the whining. Great photos, happy. I mean, there's just more of a positive vibe on Instagram. That's one reason. And number two, the second reason why so many people are migrating away from Facebook is because their parents are on Facebook. And whenever parents get on a social platform, it kind of becomes uncool. Now, if you remember the statistic I just spoke to you about, between 30 and 49 is the primary demographic for what we're going to target on Instagram, which is perfect for what we do. But you'll see on Facebook, much of the geriatric population is now getting on Facebook. So I know, as simple and as childish as it sounds, people are migrating for those two reasons. One, they don't want to be on the same network as their parents, and two, it's just Facebook without the whining. So keep those points in mind. This is going to continue to flourish and flourish. So here's what Instagram looks like. I just took this screenshot of my mobile Facebook app. Here you can see this is myself, my photo, my bio, my link. You can see right now I have 3,100 followers, 53 I'm following, and then here are the posts that I've used in the past. Now, this is where you can view your newsfeed. This little house icon, this magnifying glass, is where you can search people, hashtags, many other things. This little square with a plus in it, that's where you can upload photos directly or videos to Instagram. This is where you can see this little heart. This is where you can see what you've liked and favorited, or what your friends have liked and favorited. And this is where you can actually view your content or people that have tagged you in stuff on Instagram, or actually view your profile, on Instagram. So very simple overall compared to some of the other social networks. This is your settings, this little gear wheel up here. This is your insights tab. Not too complex at all. This is a sample Instagram post. Have you ever met a hater doing better than you? Me neither. And this one garnered 68 likes shortly after I posted it. But this is just an example. You post a text-driven image or something of value, and your friends get to see it. It goes in their newsfeed, and they can respond. Very simple stuff. So how do you as a chiropractor get started on Instagram? Number one, you have to download the Instagram app. Do that immediately. Listen, it's 2018. We have to market like it's the year we actually live in. Register an account with a business email. If you don't do that, if you just connect your Facebook, then your Instagram will be connected to your personal profile, and Instagram will make it a personal profile for you. So if you want to set up a business page for your practice, just go with a business email when you set it up. Pick a username, which is going to be your practice name, and choose a profile pic. This could be a pic of you, could be your office staff. I wouldn't just necessarily put a logo, because on social media, people like to connect with real people. So I recommend having a face behind that business or logo. So if it is a team pic, that's a good one to go with. And complete your bio, like I said. Now here's a quick rule of thumb. Write this down. Content versus promotion. 80% to 20%. Listen, we want to tell people exactly what to do and we want to have promotions, but we also like to flood the market with value. At least 80% of your content, your posts, your videos, your photos should be helpful pieces of information or just great content. What to post on Instagram, photos or videos? It's pretty simple. You can post general health tips. I'll show you some examples of those in 1 second. Chiropractic educational content, behind the scenes shots at the office, adjustment or demonstration style videos. Now, something to point out on Instagram, you only have 1 minute of video that you can actually record, so it's got to be quick. So if you do some type of adjustment video, you need to explain what you're doing very, very thoroughly so people don't just assume what you're doing and start to make their own assumptions. Demonstration style videos like stretching, those are always great. Research, not a lot of chiropractors post enough research, but you can. Trending news topics, if there's something locally in your community or globally that's going on one of the major news networks, you can really piggyback on some of these trending news topics. You can repost from your patients or employees. Now, I'm not an attorney, so certainly check HIPAA, all that other good stuff. Best practices for that. Local or national influencer posts, you can certainly follow or repost some of those. Testimonials, either written form or video. You can have contests on Instagram and share stuff like that. Here's an example of a research study that I posted, and this comes from my chiropractic graphics package. And by the way, I have 365 chiropractic graphics that you can post on Instagram anytime you want. That's actually included for free in my best-selling training, Social Media Elite. And I'll share with you how to get that at the very end of this presentation. But this is a 2-year study conducted by the Italian government, followed 17,000 patients. The dramatic results showed that patients under chiropractic care had their hospitalization for back ailments reduced by 87.6% and work loss by 75.5%. Here's the reference underneath it below. That's a great study as an example of research to promote on your profile. Here's another one. Ever heard of a back transplant? We haven't either. Since you only have one spine, take care of it daily. And this image does a great job of showing that. So this is another helpful, simple health tip that you could post on Instagram. Why is good posture important? An image of the spine and 4 bullet points. Another great example. And again, these are all included in the chiropractic graphics package. This is one of the most popular photos that we ever created as well. Should medical doctors wear uniforms that identify their sponsors and who they receive kickbacks from? So just to give you some ideas of what you can share, here's another helpful tip. Never sleep on your stomach. How many times have we told patients this? Well, listen, take the advice that you already tell patients on a daily basis, put those into quote graphic form, and start sharing them on Instagram. And here's a little description of why you don't sleep on your stomach. You can post testimonials. This is an example. This has come from one of my clients, Dr. Dana Surma. She says, Matthew Loop, you said to get the procedures in place to be able to handle the growth. I started to, but not in time to accept the growth that we are seeing. 5 new patients during our workday from 3 to 6, and 10 new patients today between 9 and 6 today. Your coaching is the best investment I have ever made in my practice. We collected over $4,000 over the counter today in individual visit payments, and I'm an in-network provider. So this is an example of one of my client testimonials, but you could certainly have your testimonials. And this was just a quick Facebook post where I took a screenshot. Here was another one. This came from email. This is from Dr. Jonathan out of Canada. Well, that low back video I made and showed you finally went up today. Today is the 3rd day. I have only done $5 a day in ad spend. He's talking about 15,000 reach, 8.6K views, 34 likes, but 94 shares. That means people are finding the content very valuable. 2 people called to book consults. So if you do social media right, there's a lot of bang for the buck. But I'm just demonstrating this to show you that you can either share testimonials from email, from Facebook, or from anything else. And this is another one directly from Facebook. Yesterday, my wife walked into a local pet store, and the person helping her said to her, I see you everywhere. She said, huh? Your ads on Facebook for your chiropractic office, whatever you're doing is working. I see you all the time. Thank you, Matthew Loop. So just another example of how you can share testimonial. How do you create simple text graphics? This is a question I get a lot. Let's make things very, very simple. Either you or a staff member can go to Canva, canva.com, and create designs for Instagram, Facebook, and other social media, whether they're simple text graphics like this with your website in them, or whether it's a picture of you or another picture in the background. You can dress it up, make it look very, very elegant and professional, just like some of these up here. Very, very easy stuff. Hashtags. Why use hashtags? This is another question I get from docs. Well, hashtags get you found for free if you use them correctly. This is an example of what a hashtag looks like. All you do is you put a word or a phrase and you'll use the number sign in front of it. So hashtag chiropractic. You could search right now on Instagram and search hashtag chiropractic to see what people have posted about chiropractic. You could do the same thing in your local market. This is an example of just one of the testimonial screenshots that I posted from a previous Social Media Revenue Summit member. And if you look all the way over to the right, you can see in this post itself, I listed a bunch of hashtags that were related below to this particular chiropractic and entrepreneur marketing seminar. So that's another thing that you can do. I like to sometimes include my hashtags at the very end of the post or skip a few spaces and put them down. If you do include them in the post, I would only include a couple hashtags in the body of the post, so they're not as annoying, but you can include up to, I believe it's 30 or 40 hashtags. I mean, Instagram has updated their limits recently in the very bottom of the post, or you could just comment with a bunch of hashtags. It's up to you. Here's one from a local city in the area, Snellville. If you're in Atlanta or San Diego, you could go right now to your Instagram app, tap the search, and type in hashtag your city, and it will pull up top people, tags, and places. This is great information for you if you want to go ahead and connect with other local people in your area. Phenomenal. How many local people have used Snellville, Snellville Stylist, Snellville Barber? Well, listen, if somebody is using these keywords for the city, that's a very unique city name, chances are they live in this area, so it would be very easy for you to comment on their profile, to show you're listening, and to like their content, and potentially even follow them if you like their stuff, and they might even follow you back. It's just a very easy way to grow your following for free that can be delegated to somebody in your office. The same thing for people and places. You can connect with other influencers, and we'll talk about that a little bit for people and places. So here's some guidelines when you start to use hashtags. Be specific, maintain relevance, pay attention, monitor yours and other brand hashtags. So be specific. Listen, if you're talking about a Rolls Royce and you've got a Rolls Royce Phantom, well, tag Rolls Royce Phantom. You can also tag Rolls Royce, but the more specific you are, the better detailed you're going to get, and the more likely somebody that is qualified will find you. So be specific and maintain your relevance. Don't just put miscellaneous hashtags that don't relate to the post or the content that you're putting out there. Pay attention, be very, very specific and attentive. See what other local influencers or local people are using in their hashtags. You might get some great ideas for other, maybe landmarks, other businesses that you can use to get in front of the right local audience. Monitor yours. This goes into reputation management. You should always monitor your hashtags for certain to see what other people have been saying about you. And if you wanted to, you could do the same thing with other brands that might be competing in the space or that you want to piggyback off of. Here's how to get an extra 2,500 Instagram followers in the next 3 weeks or less. Number one, email your patient list. If you're like most docs, you probably have a large patient email list, whether they're active or inactive. Invite them to like your Instagram profile and give them a couple reasons why they should. What's in it for them? People always think, what's in it for me? Why should they like your Instagram profile? And you can even run a contest for those individuals as well, which ties into the next one. Run a contest and giveaway for those that like your Instagram. Maybe you're giving away a free iPad or something that has tremendous value for anyone that likes your Instagram post in the next week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or likes your Instagram profile in the next 3 weeks. Set the rules of the contest and really try to get everyone to tag people, tell them exactly what you want to do, and that's a very fast way to build your following. Add your Instagram URL to your email signature. If you send hundreds of emails per day like I do, well, this is a great way for free exposure for a large amount of people. Pay other top Instagram influencers to post a photo. This is a big deal. These are called paid shoutouts. So if you use Instagram like I just showed you how to do, you search the hashtags in your local community, or you search what's popular on Instagram, you will find many people that are local in your area, maybe that have their own large followings. These could be other businesses in the area, your personal trainer, an attorney, a sporting goods store, or it could be another celebrity. Maybe she's a model in the area. Maybe there's a popular personal trainer that people know of in the Southeast region. Find local influencers, people that have over 7,000, 10,000, 100,000 Instagram followers, and approach them and see if they offer some type of advertising. This is where you can hop in front of them. I did this when I promoted my book, Social Media Made Me Rich, and it garnered us an extra 2,000 fans in a matter of just a few days from posting and getting my content right in front of those entrepreneurs. These other groups and profiles have spent time, energy, money, and effort building their own profile. And listen, I'm more than willing to pay them what? $50 to get in front of 100,000 people. That's just a great way to get your message out there to the right community very, very fast. This one thing alone, I've worked with clients that have built over 1 million Instagram followers just using this paid shout out strategy alone. Very powerful. Mention and tag celebrities in your space. Now, if there are local celebrities like the weatherman that you love their content, or some author, could be a national or global celebrity too, you might be surprised if you use their product and you tag them, they might regram your post. In other words, they might share your post with their millions and millions of followers. That's always a possibility. So why not mention those influencers and flatter them, and if you use their products or services or you like what they're doing. Post to your followers on Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, or other social platforms to get them off of those other networks and onto Instagram. You can have image caption contests, make it fun for people. Create 10 to 15 second videos. Video is a great way to build your Instagram following because you can specifically tell that person what to do, whether it's to tag a friend or to visit your website or to just share the content with others. Use Facebook and Instagram advertising. Now, in my flagship training, Social Media Elite, I've put together the holy grail of trainings for Facebook and Instagram advertising. And this is just a very, very powerful medium that you can flip a switch. You can connect with anyone that you want to connect with locally, nationally, by keywords, by purchase behavior, age, city. I mean, there's so many great targeting details and specifics where you can drill in to harness your right audience. And if you put it in front of the right audience, you'll be surprised by how many new fans, exposure, traffic, and new patients you're able to attract with just Facebook and Instagram advertising. My best clients do over 50 new patients a month just with this advertising platform. So yes, use it to your advantage. Post client testimonials. This goes without saying. Listen, I could say how great I am all day long, but if other people say how great I am, that goes a much, much farther way, much longer way. Feature real people using your service. And this goes back to potentially doing and posting adjustment style or treatment style videos, doing demonstration style content. Make sure you get them to sign a release waiver, a testimonial release waiver though. So that's a big deal. Partner with other related accounts and companies. This is similar to the paid shout out, only we're not actually paying for other people to promote our content. We're synergistically running joint ventures. So let's say you have a nutrition store in the area that posts a lot of great content on Instagram and you love their supplements, you go frequent their business. Well, then you might say, hey Joe, check this out. I have I have an audience of 5,000 patients that I've seen over the years. I would love to share an image from Instagram or a post of yours if you have how to choose a great organic supplement, or things that you must know about choosing the best organic whole food supplement. Do you have a piece of content like that, Joe? He's probably going to tell you, you know what, I do have some content. Why don't you share this image? It has a couple bullet points, or share this blog post. That's fantastic. You post it on Instagram, you get him some free exposure. Maybe you even spend $5 to boost it to your fans in the local community. Then you come back to him a week later and say, hey Joe, check this out. This post has garnered 100 likes or 1,000 likes. Looks like you've garnered another 50 Instagram followers. He's going to be ecstatic that you took the initiative to promote his business. And then that's when you can say, hey, Joe, check this out. I've got a powerful Instagram image that shows parents 3 easy ways that they can detect child scoliosis. Would you mind sharing this with your 5,000 or 10,000 followers? Because I think it would help them, uh, you know, identify this in their kids. Joe's probably going to tell you, absolutely I will, because you took the initiative and you gave first. So always go into these relationships and give first. This is an easy way to get exposure for free. So make a list of all local businesses in your area that you can implement this strategy with. Follow other users. A percentage will follow you back. Now, I know some people that take this to the extreme and they follow just many users, like hundreds or thousands of users. But it shouldn't look too disproportional. I mean, you should follow those that you really like, and if you want to comment, that's perfect as well. But sometimes just following other users gets you noticed, and certainly a percentage will follow you back. There are automated software programs that you can use to do this following, but I would caution you, use them at your own risk. Um, Instagram has certain limits, but I know a lot of the influencers do use them. There's one program in particular. It's called Ninjagram, Ningagram, Ninjagram. So just an FYI, but again, use that at your own risk. Post images 2 times per day. This is a very good time per day to post on Facebook. On Instagram. Eventually, you'll track your insights tab to see what the best times to post are. So you'll get some more data that way, but twice per day is good. You or your CA can do this for you. If you post 6 times per day, sometimes that can be too much, depending on your following. If you only have a couple hundred followers, you can stick to posting 2 or 3 times per day. That's not a big deal. Let's quickly go over some pitfalls that most chiropractors are making on Instagram as we speak right now. Many docs go into Instagram and they don't have a clear goal. Do you want to get an extra 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers in the next 30 days? Get a specific goal. Why are you on Instagram? Are you there to help more people, to make more money, to build your influence? Write it down and then get specific on your numbers. You can't hit moving targets, but if you write it down and you have a specific target, you will hit that target eventually. No link in your bio to drive traffic. Listen, a lot of doctors don't even have their website link in their biography. If you tell them on a video or a post to click the link in your bio, you should have a link in the bio there. And also that gives you juice to your website, helps with your SEO, so make sure you don't forget a simple thing like that. Making your Instagram profile private. If you want to help more people in the community and reach more, your profile has to be public. So go to your settings and make sure your profile is public, whether it's a personal or a business. Make it public. I get that you might want to have your personal profile private sometimes, but it's really not doing you any good in terms of building your influence. Posting duplicate photos or too much canned content. I don't recommend posting a lot of canned content. If you ever run out of ideas, absolutely, that's fine. But if you post the same photo every day, very few people are going to follow and engage with your posts. You will look boring, and that will hurt your reputation. Don't do that. Not responding to comments promptly. This is one of the worst things that you could do. Is you have a great photo or helpful tip on an image, you start to get comments, likes, even shares, and you don't respond to anything. Listen, people like to know that you're actually listening, that you give a damn about what they have to say. So respond promptly to comments. Focusing on quantity over quality. I know people that post 1 time per day and they get thousands of likes to their Instagram photos because it's all about the quality and the strategy after they post. It's not necessarily about posting 10 times per day. That really doesn't cut it. Now, even though Facebook own Instagram, and Instagram does have a newsfeed filter, we've talked about that before on Facebook, but understand that if you post great quality content, that's going to give you the best benefit and the best chance of getting through and getting as much free exposure as possible. And for stuff that obviously you don't get the great free exposure with, we can always spend $5 to boost that post. Misuse of hashtags. We already talked about some of the best practices of using hashtags, and in my flagship training, Social Media Elite, I go very in-depth into that. But don't just use irrelevant hashtags for the sake of using them, and don't just litter your entire description section up with them. It should make sense when you use them. Here's just a rule of thumb. Hashtags should be memorable, not just your brand name. They should make sense, short and simple. Research, relevant, use it everywhere. Be consistent. More hashtags equals more likes and comments. According to Agora Pulse, it says Instagram allows up to 30 tags per image, and in the data, there's a positive correlation between the number of tags used on an image and likes and comments. So if you use 30 or more, or I'm sorry, 30, or even if you use 5 or 10 hashtags per post, you're going to receive more engagement because people are looking through those hashtags every single day. So try to ride the wave of hashtags. Don't necessarily invent your own, but capitalize, use a few in there, and in some of your best posts, maybe you will use more than that. Using low quality photos. This annoys me. If you're going to post on Instagram, use high quality photos, great resolution. If the image is blurry, how do you think that affects your brand, your reputation? It doesn't really say too much. Use high quality photos. Make sure you spell correctly. This is one of the big mistakes, not proofreading. You're a professional. You can't have this. No call to action is another pitfall and big mistake. Listen, if you're going to post something on there and tell people in your description box what you want them to do, if you want them to like the post, if you want them to share it with their friends, if you have a contest, if you want them to tag a friend, specifically tell them what to do. We know from basic market research, when you tell somebody what to do, they're 10 times more likely to do what you ask. Never assume that they know what to do next. Inconsistent posting, this is a kiss of death on any social network. So once you start, you want to be consistent with your posting, so obviously you can help reach more people. If somebody goes to your profile and they see you haven't posted in 6 months, what does that say about your brand? Doesn't flatter you, that's for sure. Imagine if you would have implemented these strategies 6 months ago. How many more followers would you have? How much more of an impact would you be making in your community? How much more revenue would you have generated for your practice? How many more new patients would have come in the door? There are so many times where I'm on these events and trainings and I'll get a doctor that says, hey, I haven't really done anything with this training, but I saw this 6 months ago from one of your tutorial videos, or I saw your seminar last year, but now I'm ready to get started. That's called an opportunity cost, and it really hits me in the stomach hard when I see that, because I know from experience, this could be an extra 5, 10, 20 new patients every single month that could be hearing about chiropractic, that you could be helping, that you could ultimately have more revenue in your practice. So everyone's different, but I can tell you, you're losing out on a lot of money, influence, and people helped by not implementing this strategy. Don't have your head buried in the sand. We as a profession must evolve with the times. We have to market like it's the year we actually live in, so we are not perceived as outdated and out of touch. If you agree, say yes. Type yes in the chat box. Of course you agree, right? No one wants to be perceived as outdated and out of touch. That's why you have to understand what's going on with Instagram and start to slowly move your presence over there. Get in the game. Use this information I shared with you on the webinar so you can thrive and prosper in the new economy. Now, on these events that I typically run for chiropractors, there are usually a few types of doctors. Number one, you've seen this information, and honestly, you're not going to do anything with it. I sincerely hope that isn't anyone right now on this training, but there's always a few. Number two, you might be a doctor, and you've seen this information. You know that social media is not going anywhere. It's not a fad, and you want professional guidance. You want to master this so you can grow and help more people, make more money, and really create more prosperity in your life because of it. The third type of doctor you might be, maybe you're already attracting an extra 20 or 30 new patients a month from social media. You're not a beginner like a previous category, but you know that you're capable of doing so much more. And regardless of what category you're in, I can certainly help you. And I'd like to introduce you to my flagship training, Social Media Elite. I've actually talked a little bit about it throughout this webinar, but it's a home study training that's instantly downloadable that has over 60 video tutorials, so you can look over my shoulder and make sure you do it right the first time. This is huge. It's created by a doctor, myself, and I've worked with any type of chiropractic practice that you can think of, a straight chiropractic practice, personal injury, functional medicine, weight loss, all of the above can use these strategies, not just Instagram, but YouTube, Facebook, etc. The training has a 6-month money-back guarantee because no one ever returns it. In fact, just one new patient through your door more than pays for the training multiple times over. Here's what you get in Social Media Elite. Now, these are video tutorials where, like I said, you get to look over my shoulder so you don't make any mistakes and you get it right the first time. How many times have we done something, we have to go back and correct ourselves, cost us time, money, energy, and effort? Well, this is your way to shortcut the process, and I include the best practices on Instagram. This is the most comprehensive Instagram video training in the chiropractic profession, hands down. You get access to all of those trainings, and anytime I do an update, you'll get access free of charge. Facebook organic referral marketing strategies. Listen, Instagram is fantastic, but you also have to master Facebook. How to get free exposure and traffic from the world's largest social network while it's still available. As you probably already know, your status updates aren't getting seen on Facebook like they used to be because Facebook is now a business. They want you to pay for advertising, and there is a time and place to do that, but you can still get a tremendous amount of free visibility and traffic from the social network if you do it like I teach in the course. Facebook ads marketing I love because you can flip a switch, target your ideal patient. I give you sample ads that you can swipe so you can get profitable from day one, and you can understand how to craft headlines, what to say, and how to get people to take action. Google Maps marketing, Google My Business as it's now called, formerly Google Places. This is another great medium for chiropractors to attract new patients. This is very high leverage. So I show you how to get ranked on the first page of the Google Maps listing, how to preserve that listing so you can stay there for years and years to come, what Google loves, and I share with you the powerful ranking factors and how to build social proof and get reviews. I give you all the scripts in this Social Media Elite training course. You'll also learn about search engine optimization, which is how to rank your regular chiropractic website on the top of Google. Pinterest is a great medium for your practice, perfect for chiropractors. Ages 25 to 55 is the primary demographic, and Pinterest is also like Facebook without the whining. So lots of good images shared on there and a great way to grow your practice. YouTube videos. I share with you an entire module about YouTube in Social Media Elite because if I had to credit one thing that's been responsible for me building my brand very quickly, getting others to know, like, and trust me, it's been video. And mind you, I've been teaching these strategies since about 2006. The course has been updated ever since, but it's just amazing how fast time flies. Hard to believe it's been over a decade. In fact, I've probably trained most influencers that you are familiar with in this profession. But YouTube is powerful. We can rank videos on the first page of Google. We can use that to promote them, create more influence. There's many, many ways that we can leverage YouTube to our benefit. Blog marketing. In this year and beyond, you have to know how to create your home online. Your blog is your home, and you have to be using blogging in a certain way. Twitter marketing for doctors. I've had chiropractors attract new patients in a matter of minutes using this live feed network. So Twitter can be a very powerful medium if you understand what you're doing. Outsourcing and leveraging. Listen, this is not just about giving you another job. That's the last thing you as a doctor need is another job. But you have to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on because there is a time and place to leverage and outsource, and I show you specifically how and where to do that in the training. Quick start manual and task list. Listen, if you found this training valuable today, you will enjoy the quick start manual, but I'll caution you, once you get it, go through it. Don't let it overwhelm you because we're going to take one strategy, get it in place, and then we will stack and layer as we go. But it gives you an overview of what's going to be going on, what eventually will be implemented, and I think that you will see how out of the box this is, and you've never seen anything like it. Google Plus trainings and much more. Listen, Google Plus itself is probably on its way out, but I talk about that in there. Here's what Social Media Elite will do for you. One, it will give you strategy. This is what separates the chiropractors that attract an extra 5 or 10 new patients per month from the internet to those chiropractors that are attracting over 40 new patients per month. It's all in the strategy. I always say it's not what you do on social media that determines your impact, influence, and profitability. It's how you do it. So Social Media Elite teaches you the best strategy to reach and impact more. Traffic. Most doctors don't get enough traffic to their website to really assess how it converts. They're always quick to throw their website under the bus, and while some of the websites just totally suck, you need to get traffic to your website to be able to see how well it does convert. So I show you how to get enormous amounts of local traffic and visibility to your content and your website with this program. You discover how to get top Google rankings so that anywhere people search online, they come across you or your content. You discover how to become an unstoppable public relations machine so that anywhere somebody searches on Facebook, on Google, they do see you. And you can create the news how you want it and not just be affected by the negative brand equity that plagues the chiropractic profession. More new patients, this goes without saying. Listen, we want to help more people in the community, but very few doctors are using the right strategy that helps them. This course shows you the exact strategy, the way that you can attract more new patients, and to automate the process so we create systems so this feeds your office for years and years to come. And you learn a set of skills that pays you for life. This is not like a postcard drop where you just do it one time and then it's over. No, you learn a set of skills that you can apply to any business, really, but your practice, and it pays you for years and years to come. It's all about getting the right systems in place. Now, many chiropractors I speak with say, well, hey, doc, I don't have the time to implement this. And the reality is it comes down to priorities. Takes 30 minutes per day. Most doctors are on the computer for 30 minutes every single day. You can always devote more time, but 30 minutes per day is where you should start. And if you don't have the time, cut out an hour of television every single week. We can always make the time. Like I said, it's all about getting the systems. Once they're up in place for many of these strategies, you'll have a lot of free time, but commit to the short term to get the systems in place. Some docs will say, I'm not a computer geek, and I totally get it, but this is not like biochemistry, like what we've had in chiropractic school. It's much easier. Is it new learning? Yes, absolutely. It's a new language, but it's not that sophisticated. Repetition breeds that familiarity. So as you're immersed in this learning, you're going to find that it's actually pretty simple the more you get into it. This is all about professional guidance and mentorship. Every single professional athlete, anyone at the top of their game in the world, always has a coach and a mentor. I'd like to be that mentor for you because I've worked with over 8,000 practices just as clients. I've trained some of the most prominent and influential chiropractors in the profession. So I can certainly help you grow and achieve your goals that you want rather than getting stuck on something, staying there for 6 months, a year. Listen, you can learn social media on your own. You could absolutely do that, but be honest with yourself. Do you have the time to put in? Do you have 4 hours a day to put in for the next 6 months to try to master and get the right strategy down, not make the costly errors and mistakes? All we offer here is the recipe and the shortcut. It's very simple. This is Dr. Ryan Ryder. He's out of the United Kingdom, and he says, we've been working with Dr. Loop for over 6 months, and he's taken us from complete novices to a situation where we can say that we're far more empowered when it comes to online strategies. We have generated thousands of new clients and new relationships using his strategies. And the best part is that they're all very doable and massively scalable, even for a tech dummy like me. Honestly, we didn't have a clue when we started, and he really did give us the tools, knowledge, and mentorship that we needed to get us to the next level of our marketing. Very kind words from this doc out of the UK. They have several clinics over there. Dr. Ryan French says, every day this week, somebody called for a new patient appointment from Facebook or YouTube. Unreal. That's now 9 in the last week and a half. Took a bit to get going, but I'm impressed. Sometimes it happens very quick. The dam breaks, bam, just like that. Other times, there is a ramp-up time, especially if you're competing with people that have been online for years and years and years. But eventually, that dam will break. Eventually, that snowball is going to turn into an avalanche. Andy Green says, hey, Matt, we're here in the UK, Chiropractors and Osteopathic Center. I have social media elite from you a few years ago. Thank you. Getting 60 to 100 views per day on a website he's referring to. Average new patients in the clinic, 60 per month, about 40 per month from the internet. That is exceptional. Fantastic work, Andy. Dr. Jeffrey Roystershire in North Carolina writes, it amazes me how so many chiropractors are afraid to learn something that is so easy and effective. When I opened my first office in the late 90s, I used newspaper ads, yellow pages, telemarketing, etc. It was expensive and mixed results, to say the least. I just opened a new office a couple years ago using Social Media Elite, and I'm averaging 30 to 40 new patients every month from social media. It's truly a no-brainer. Very kind words. Alex Eatley says, "Hey Matthew, just wanted to reach out and say I love your stuff and really looking forward to seeing you here in the UK at the end of the month. Using just a handful of your social media elite strategies, and social media made me rich, my practice has blown up over the past 3 years. For example, for the last 4 to 6 months, we've been seeing an average of 49 new patients a month, 70% of those from the internet. And going into the fourth year of business, we are moving into our third premises as we have to keep scaling up. Started on my own, and now we are 10 to 12 strong. So massive high five. That is awesome. So you need to be prepared to scale once you get all of these social media strategies in place. Listen, Instagram is phenomenal, but the real power comes when you have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google working for you 24/7. There are many pillars of online marketing that you must master if you want to be the most successful, and by doing so, you make yourself recession proof. Now, for today's webinar only, you have an opportunity to save 37% on Social Media Elite. That's a $220 savings for today. It's normally valued at $597, but today you'll access it for just one investment of $377. And not only that, you actually get over $3,288 in bonuses. Number one is a private consult with me personally. I know your practice is different from the doctor down the street, so I want to help give you the tools, strategies, and resources and tailor this information to your chiropractic practice. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to offer these phone consults because after speaking at Harvard, my schedule is just blown up, and right now most of my time is reserved for personal coaching clients and speaking, but I still offer this for regular Social Media Elite members because I want to see you thrive. You get access to our private Facebook group, which is a $997 value. We've got over 1,000 members in Social Media Elite. If you ever have a question, you can always post it in the group. You can email me directly, but if you post it in the group, chances are somebody else is going to see that. They might have the same question. I chime in a lot in the group. You can even search by thread if there's a specific topic that you're interested in. Very valuable. That's worth the price alone 10 times of this program. You get the 365 chiropractic graphics package. That's normally valued at $197. That's included free with the investment in Social Media Elite today. So if you ever run out of an idea to post on Instagram, you could just throw one of these graphics up very, very quickly and educate your community and be viewed as a very, very valuable resource. You get free Social Media Elite course updates for life. I attached a value to this, but really it's way more than that. I'm not going to have a Social Media Elite 2.0. I'm not going to pull the rug out from underneath you. I always hate when gurus do that. That's not how I do business. So once you're in, you are in. Listen, I would love for you to eventually to scale up to the coaching, but I know this course can dramatically change your life. I give you so much great content in there, so many strategies that you can really grow very, very quickly, and I'm not going to just create an upsell later on down the road, so you have that peace of mind. Unlimited email support. I have doctors that email me. They bought the course 8 years ago, and I still respond to their email support requests because I want to see you grow. And several doctors I can think of off the top of my head. So if you ever have any questions, my door is always open to you. You also get access to the 3-day new patient machine email sequence. This is a $97 value. This helps you attract patients from your email list. You can even use it as a reactivation sequence if you have an inactive patient email list. But very, very powerful. You can use email to your advantage to attract patients in your office. I show you a very powerful script to do that. So here's what to do next. If you like the idea of attracting an extra 40 new patients per month or more from social media and the internet without spending money on conventional advertising, then what I'd like you to do is click the big orange add to cart button below one time. If you click it more than once, it might add another product to the cart. So click it one time and then follow the payment all the way through, complete the first page of the checkout, then click the green button at the bottom. On the next page, you'll be able to pay with either PayPal or your credit card. Either one is fine. And then once you're in, you will get instant access to the trainings. Look out in your email inbox for a welcome email with the download links. Check your junk and spam just to make sure. Sometimes it does get filtered in the junk and spam. Want to make sure that we can get you up and running as fast as possible. And if you don't get an email within 30 minutes, make sure you send an email to my assistant Anna at info@dcincome.com, and she can get you those trainings so we can help fast track your results. As I mentioned previously, there are multiple pillars online: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Google. All of these working together for you 24/7 is what creates the biggest momentum and the biggest cash cow for your practice. That's what enables you to help as many people as possible. One of my top docs that I think of off the top of my head in Florida, he's attracting over 100 new patients with all these systems integrated. And while Instagram is powerful, and I can think of a doctor right now that's doing over 27 new patients per month, the power comes in when all these pillars are integrated together. Like I said, Social Media Elite is the best training in the profession to help you achieve your goals from social media. It will show you strategy, and it will give you something that you can actually implement down the road for years and years to come. And if you ever have any questions, my door is always open to you, because I'm here and I want to see you thrive and prosper in this new economy. I'd love to see chiropractic overcome that critical mass, and we cannot do that unless we as a profession master the art of social media outreach. So hopefully you found some value from this training today. Certainly if you did, I'd like to help you take it to the next level and the next step. So click the big orange add to cart button that you see here, fill out the first page, and then take care of your payment. On the second page, you'll get an email from my team with the Social Media Elite trainings and downloads. I look forward to serving you at the highest level. I can't wait for you to be my next success story. Cheers and prosperity. I will talk to you soon, guys. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.